Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the delay in recording a new video, but it's been a bit hectic in my country. We've gone back down to level 3, which means a lot more of the shops are opening again, so the practice has gotten a bit busier, so I haven't had as much time to record. Also, sorry about the no makeup situation, but I'm recording in my practice today, and unfortunately wearing makeup with a mask, those two don't go very well together. So anyway, as promised, today we are going to be discussing the second and final part of our contraception series. So today, remember, we said we were going to discuss hormonal contraception and emergency contraception. So to make it a bit easier, I'm going to divide the hormonal contraception into different groups according to how it is administered. So you get your oral contraceptives, you get your injectables, you get your intrauterine devices, you get your implants, and you get your patches. So the oral contraceptives are the most commonly known ones because they're used quite often, also known as the pill. So you get two different kinds. You get your combined oral contraceptives. These have both estrogen and progesterone in them. This is the one that is used more often. And then you get your progesterone only tablets that obviously only contain progesterone. So your combined oral contraceptives usually come in a package of 28 tablets. You get active ones which contain hormones, and then you get, depending on which brand, 4 to 7 tablets that contain placebos, which means there's nothing in those tablets. It's literally just a sugar tablet, and this is where you will have your period. So the combined oral contraceptives work by keeping your estrogen and progesterone levels constant and then rapidly dropping them during that placebo phase where you have your period. So because it keeps your hormones at a constant level and then rapidly drops them, you do not ovulate. And if you can remember in my previous video, you can only fall pregnant if you ovulate. So the benefits of the combined oral contraceptive is that it usually makes your period a lot shorter. It usually makes your period a lot more intense, so the pain and the bleeding is usually a lot less. In most patients can help clear up your skin. The estrogen in the tablet is also protective against osteoporosis, vaginal bleeding and things like that. The disadvantages though of the combined oral contraceptive is obviously that you have to remember to take a tablet every single day, and some patients experience weight gain, but it's usually very minimal. Alright, then you get your progesterone only tablets. These tablets are usually given to patients that are breastfeeding and don't want to fall pregnant, because although breastfeeding on its own is considered a contraceptive, it has been seen that if you breastfeed for long periods of time, you can actually fall pregnant and that contraceptive effect falls away. So the progesterone only tablets have fallen out of favor, but no one really uses them. It's only used in a setting usually of people that are breastfeeding and want to prevent falling pregnant. The reason why you have to get the progesterone only tablets during breastfeeding is that the estrogen in the combined oral contraceptives can actually suppress lactation. So the disadvantage of the progesterone only tablets is, once again, you have to remember to take a tablet every day. Progesterone, because all of the tablets contain hormones, so it's the same as the combined oral contraceptives in that there's 28 tablets, but there's no placebo, so all of the tablets contain hormones, and it can cause irregular periods and breakthrough bleeding. Some women don't have a period at all, some women have spotting throughout, some people have heavy bleeding throughout, and it's very unpredictable. So it has fallen out of favor a little bit. Also, because it doesn't have the estrogen, it can cause vaginal dryness, which can be quite painful during intercourse and things like that, and also then has a negative effect on osteoporosis and things like that. Alright, and again, disadvantage I think I did mention is that you have to remember to take a tablet every day. Okay, so very important to also remember is that all oral contraceptives do not prevent against STDs. So please remember, if you are going to be having sexual intercourse with multiple partners, please, you have to still protect against STDs. The pill itself is not going to prevent you from getting an STD. Alright, so moving on to injectables. So in my practice, and I know in our local clinics here in South Africa as well, we offer 2 injectables. The injectables are also progesterone only, so the side effects are going to be the same as that of the progesterone only tablets. The The nice thing is though, the injectables last 2 or 3 months depending on which injectable you get. So that's a benefit in that you don't have to remember to take a tablet every day, and for 2 to 3 months depending on the brand, you don't have to worry about contraception. Again, does not protect against STDs, so you still need to protect against STDs if you're on the injectables. And then again, like I mentioned, because it's progesterone only, you're going to have the similar side effects. So you can have irregular bleeding, you can have breakthrough bleeding, you can stop your period completely, depends on how your body reacts to it. Again, you can have some weight gain, you can have some vaginal dryness. The other disadvantage of the injectables is that obviously it's an injection, so it's quite painful and it's uncomfortable, and also you're going to have to then get an injection every 2 to 3 months. The other thing about the injectables is, unfortunately, if you have got side effects on it, there's no way to take it out. So it's not like the pill, when you stop it within a week or 2, the hormones out of your system. The injectable will stay in your system, can stay in your system for up to 6 months before your body's completely metabolized it. So if you are having side effects, we can try and treat the side effects that you're having with other medication, but unfortunately we can't take it away. It's in your system until your body metabolizes it. Alright, the intrauterine devices. So intrauterine devices are a T-shaped small structure that is inserted into the uterus through the vagina. So much the same way that you would have a pap smear done. Benefits of the intrauterine device is that it lasts 3 to 5 years. The ones these days usually last 5 years, so that's great. So at least for 5 years, you don't have to worry about falling pregnant. Again, disadvantage is it is uncomfortable to insert. Because it is a foreign body that you're putting into the body, you can have risk of the body rejecting it, and someone will get discomfort and pain because of that. Also, because you're inserting a foreign body, you have the risk of infection as well. The other advantage though, like I said again, it lasts 5 years, and also you don't have to remember to take a tablet every day. Also, please remember, it is not protective against STDs. You need to still use a condom and barrier methods if you want to prevent STDs. Right. Also, because I said, it's like progesterone only. Again, you have the breakthrough bleeding, you can have vaginal dryness, all of those kind of things because it is progesterone only. So the next thing we're going to discuss is the transdermal patches. So it is literally a patch that you stick onto your skin. The patch stays on your skin for a week, and then every week you put on a new patch for 3 weeks, and then in the 4th week you don't have the patch at all, and that's when you have your period. The patches also contain estrogen and progesterone, so here we have the estrogen coming in again, which is good because it can counteract those effects of the progesterone. So it works much the same as the combined oral contraceptives, except that you don't have to take a tablet, you just have to stick on a patch. So the benefits, again, you do not have to remember to take a tablet every day. You must remember to put on a patch every week. Remember, in the 4th week you're kind of mimicking the placebo effect of your pill, so you need to not use a patch for that last week so you can have your period. So again, it's good because you can predict when you're going to have your period, and it's always nice to know when you're going to start your period. Also, a benefit is if you take it off, the effects also stop relatively quickly. So if you do want to conceive within a week or 2, the hormone will be completely out of your body and you should go back to your normal cycle again. The disadvantages are, obviously, it's a patch that you stick to your skin, so with showering and stuff it can come off, but they're made quite well nowadays that they're actually quite hardy and they don't come off very easily. And a lot of my patients actually prefer the patch because they don't want to have to remember to take pills every day, but then they also don't want the side effects of all the progesterone only devices that are available. So patch is a good middle ground between the benefits of having estrogen and then the disadvantages of using progesterone only. So patch is a good kind of in between where you don't have to remember to take a tablet, but then you don't have all of those other side effects. Okay, implants. They're quite common in my country. They give it a lot at the local clinics, but I must say most of my private patients don't like the implant. So an implant is a small plastic rod-like structure that you insert on the inside of your arm over there. So it sits under the skin and it releases progesterone only for 3 years. So again, it's progesterone only, but again, for 3 years, you don't have to worry about contraception. Disadvantages again is progesterone. So the side effects of progesterone: it is painful to insert. The needle that they use to insert it is quite large, it's quite painful. Again, you're inserting a foreign body into your body, so there's a risk of infection, risk of pain. Because you're also puncturing the skin, there's a risk of bleeding as well. Also, person who is inserting it needs to make sure they insert it in the right place and that they don't put it in too deep. Also, a really not so nice thing about the implants is that you have to have it cut out after 3 years when the hormones stop being released from the implant. Also, again, not protective against STDs. Alright, barrier methods are the only form of contraception that prevents STDs as well. Okay, so those are the most common hormonal contraceptives that are used in my country. I've gone through them very, very quickly because I don't want to ramble on too much about the stuff and make it too complicated. So the last thing I'm going to discuss today is then the emergency contraception. So in my country, the emergency contraception is also known as the morning after pill. It's actually 3 tablets usually that you take, and it has to be within 72 hours of sexual intercourse. It's also a very high dosage of progesterone in those tablets, and it kind of helps to flush out the system and get rid of whatever is in the uterus. It is not advisable to use this regularly as a form of contraception. It will mess up your hormones. It is not a good idea to use this regularly. This is literally an emergency. So if you've had an accident, or maybe in some patients that have been sexually abused, things like that, they can use it, but please, this is not a form of contraception. You do not use this to prevent pregnancy. It is literally for emergency cases only. Also, it doesn't prevent against STDs. And then in some circumstances and in some countries and in some settings, the termination of pregnancy or an abortion can also be considered a form of emergency contraception. But obviously this is a very iffy topic. It is not something I am keen on discussing. I do not see it as a form of emergency contraception, but like I said, in certain settings, depending on the circumstances and which country you're in, it can be seen as a form of emergency contraception. Alright guys, so I hope that was informative. I hope that was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you didn't understand anything and would like me to discuss it in more detail. In the future, I'm going to be making my videos a bit more personal. So I've got a few ideas. We're going to be going into some things that I've gone through and kind of relate medical topics to that. So it's going to be very interesting. So stick around. They're not going to be so long-winded and boring like the ones I've done up till now. But please, if you have any ideas, anything that you would like me to discuss, please leave a comment and I will gladly make a video about something that you guys want to know. And I will be making a YouTube video very soon. Again, very, very sorry about taking so long with this one, but now that I'm recording in my practice, it makes it a bit easier to get the videos out in a timeliest fashion. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope it was informative. Guys, again, please stay safe and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.